As promised in the last video, I will let the Thought Patrol decide the topic for this video. So I posted a poll inside the primary channel of the Thought Patrol Discord, and I gave them 3 options. A rant about scam phone calls, a compilation video of about the last 2 weeks worth of games, probably Stick Fight because at the time I did have footage for that. And then the third option was a new album review series that would be based off of albums that people DM me. And of course, they decided to pick the most loaded and inflammatory option in 2019 terms. So get ready for a rant about scam phone calls. And the reason this is going to be inflammatory is because, yes, it involves minorities. So I'm going to be going over 2 specific instances of scam phone calls, which I've gotten multiple versions of one of them. The other one, it is literally the same thing every time. And it's just from different numbers, basically, a few different area codes around me. And this first one, let me preface it by saying that this one is definitely more of a, I guess, it's not going to happen to people that live in certain areas. If you live in California or in a major urban area that has some diversity, basically anywhere where the economy doesn't focus around tractors, beer, guns, coal mining, then you probably don't have this problem. But if you have a certain amount of Chinese immigrants in your area, you might be getting a call similar to this.
Not received. And this is the last notification. Press 9 for Chinese service.
这是 DHL 国际快递最后语音通知，你有一份重要快件派送均无人签收。了解详情，请按9，请按9，由人工客服为您服务。
As you just heard, what I will be calling this call from now on forward is the Chinese service call, because it's essentially what you could deduce before it turns into, I'm guessing, Mandarin. But this scam, from what I could quickly Google search, is directed towards Chinese Americans that either probably contacted the consulate before, or maybe they didn't, but basically this call puts on the facade that whoever's calling is from the Chinese consulate, I guess, and then has this robo message that's saying like, give them money or something, because some people fall for it and probably give them money. And like, I guess Chinese Americans might be more trusting when they come here because they assume, oh, if people call you on the phone and threaten you and then it's a robocall, it's probably pretty legit. And I'm sure to some people this does sound legit, but it doesn't sound legit to me. I wonder if it has to do with the fact that I'm maybe not Chinese or something. And now I have a few more questions. So how and why did they get my number? I live in a city that is like 80% Hispanic. I have a white last name, and they thought, oh, he'll believe when he hears it. He's going to fear for his life and give us money. But I get they're lazy robocallers and they just send out massive amounts of calls, but I'm sure some dickhead has to do all like the, I guess, behind the scenes work and number grabbing and sift through them to make sure that they're not calling a like courthouse or a maybe, I don't know, immigration lawyer or something, or a police department. Because if they called a police department, I'm sure the police could be like, who is this calling from, and be like, tactical nuke incoming. But yeah, it's just sad because they have a lack of effort in their craft. If they really want to be good scam callers, they would do a little bit more research and realize that a large percent of people aren't going to fucking hear this and care. I barely cared enough where I was like, I can make some content out of this because I don't want to just make a gaming video and be Reese, gamer video. I guess watch it. I don't know. If you haven't seen it by now, then sucks to be you, I guess. So, I'm going to get into a little strange rating of this. I'm going to rate this scam a fat 3 out of 10. 2 of those points come from the fact that I love Chinese food. The other 1 point for that 3 out of 10 that they get for this scam comes from the fact that I find the transition of the
And this is the last notification.
into that calm, soft.
这是 DHL 国际快递。
That's kind of stupid, isn't it? You would be threatening them, saying, you better answer this shit and press 9 or you're going to...
Press 9 for Chinese service.
But yeah, anyways, nice try, China, but if you couldn't notice I am illiterate, I will not fall for your scams.
Oh, shit!
Alright, so, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there were 2 scam calls I like to go over. So that first one was...
重要快件派送均
This one is another recurring one, but at least these people put in the effort to have a different call every time, or maybe a different person, because it falls apart past that point, but at least they have some variety and it's an actual person calling. And this is the part where it gets stereotypical, because the person, I don't have any other way to describe them besides India. But yeah, here's the call that I received exactly, and there are going to be multiple versions, so if I reference another one, it'll be like a little snippet from another one. But here is the earliest instance I have saved on my phone.
Hi, my name is Denise Smith. I'm calling from Comenity Capital Bank. This message is for you. Nelson, please make every effort to return my call. I'm available until 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and my number is 1-800-239-0104. Again, the number is 1-800-239-0104. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Alright, so now that I've prepared a little bit of a script, I am going to just dig straight into this. This is the first Comenity Bank scam called voicemail I've received out of 3, and I'm just going to stick to the one that you just heard. The first strike against Denise is that for some reason she thinks my name is Julio, and I don't know if you know this, but my name is Nick. They sound similar, I know. I shouldn't be pestering her for this. But of course, like I mentioned, I've had this call happen 3 times, and the second and third time, they were asking for Luke Nelson. And the worst part is that one of the times, it wasn't even Denise or whoever, the same chick calling me. It was some random Indian dude. This is what I heard.
This message is trying to reach Luke Nelson. This is Mullen from Comenity Bank. Please return my call.
This important message is trying to reach Luke Nelson. This is Derek Shaw calling from Comenity Capital Bank.
So yeah, either 2 random dudes have used my phone number in part of signing up for credit cards with this company, or something reeks of the feces produced by an adult male cattle. The second strike against Denise is that she's calling me from what I can only presume is a spoof number, because I don't live in Kansas, or in the second and third calls. Well, I think maybe the second. I'll have to double check. I don't live in Kansas or Ohio, so I find it a little hard to believe that a credit card company would be calling me from a personal cell phone number in Kansas City or Ohio when I live in California. Like, if you're doing a collection call scam like this, or like you need urgent information concerning banking, at least try to call from like a 1-800 number or toll free. Like, my brain is not that big, but it's big enough to tell that that's stupid. You don't do that. So I can even look up right here the 1-800-239-0104 that she left on 800 notes, and nearly all commenters side with me that it's a scam where the fuckers didn't even get their name right, or they left a vague message asking for someone in the household just saying, "This is urgent, please." And it's definitely not Comenity or whatever the fuck they're saying, Community Bank. I can't tell. So yeah, Denise, what is going on? I'm scared, bro. Alright, so the third strike, she's out. And this comes from the fact that she doesn't provide any details. The actual Comenity Bank offers credit cards through number stores like Abercrombie and Abercrombie and I don't fucking know. A&F, I'll say that. Victoria's Secret, and I guess Caesars Entertainment or whatever it's called, the thing that has like 5 million casinos in Vegas. Yeah, but you'd think they'd specify what card you have a payment due for or something, or why this is so urgent. Like, if I accidentally didn't pay for my debt for purchasing dedicated titty compartments, because obviously I have fucking massive rack, you know, I would like to know that I have some debt before some mafioso pulls up to my house and tries to break my kneecaps with a bat. But no, that they can't get away with this. Simply calling someone and saying,
"Hello, friend. I work for a bank, and this call is very important. Here's a different number. I want to talk to you again, please."
That doesn't help your scam look any more legit. Like, you sound like a food truck that literally says crack for sale on the side. Like, if I rate this scam in the same way I did the first one, I would rate this an obscenely obese 2 out of 10. The 2 points come from the fact that Denise was actually very well composed and polite in the first voicemail. She took this script very seriously. She was very soft about it. She didn't provide details, of course, so that shit didn't work, but yeah, I commend her for that. You're doing a good job if you had a legit job inside telemarketing or whatever. anyways, this concludes my rant about recurring scam calls. I apologize if I offended anyone in this video with my occasional reference to race. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe or I will slap my balls during a Twitch stream of Clone Hero.
I see something worse. And I
Nick's
didn't get it.
balls? Nah, that's fine, bro. They're right here. Oh, I slapped them. I slapped them on cam, you know? Like, that's already been clipped, so I can't say that I will do that again. It feels bad, guys. I don't like slapping my balls. So yeah, next video is probably going to be planned for September 14th. This video probably isn't even out on time, so whatever. Love you guys. Goodbye.
How you doing, Elizabeth? This is Chris at 24 Minutes. I was just going to giving you a call because I noticed that you signed up for a membership not too long ago.